Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Spring Championships for the round of 32. This is indeed game number 1 in a series between Blackstar OP and Goongoon. Two very strong players indeed, and I'll talk about them in a moment. But let's begin with Blackstar. Here he is, picking up his 35 coin treasure in base. Really quite nice. Starting with 200 wood. And has a 50 wood treasure by the looks of it in base as well, of course. Yeah, just the one tiger there. Really nice. Laying down a market. Okay, half expecting him to go for a trading post because there's 200 wood start there, and certainly you can do that. Very, very nice indeed. But this 50 wood treasure, 35 coin treasure, really nice for hunting dogs. And a 75 food treasure as well. Coming across a goat with that scout, and these two things here, really quite nice. What a pro. I say that far too often for RNG-based things, but yes. Yeah, could have gone for a trading post, but actually decided that because he found 50 wood and 35 coin in his base, you know, if you built a trading post, you can't really make use of those two treasures. Well, you can with the 50 wood, I suppose, because you're going to be building a house. But the 35 coin there certainly can turn that into hunting dogs. Those two treasures was essentially hunting dogs. So, yep, definitely can see the merits in a market there. Very, very nice, even if the trading post is sometimes considered to be better. But if you can make use of your starting treasures in that way, absolutely. But let's introduce his opponent, Goongoon, in the north of the map, in the color blue. Playing as, indeed, the French as well. This is a French mirror. And has actually gone for the trading post. So, not quite a mirror matchup in the sense of doing the same thing. Goongoon here. See what treasures he found. 40 wood. But that's it. Nothing else. So, yep. Completely makes sense. Though he does have a 35 true treasure in base as well, which will certainly be useful. Though, his explorers are quite far. Oh, do we have a treasure contention? Possibly 75 food over here, though neither player actually going for it. But, certainly more units in the area for Red. Though having said that, this scout has turned up. Looks like Red's going to lose his monkey there. He's trying to retreat that and get it away safely, but then realized that was not actually going to happen at all, and it would just die as it was retreating, being shot at. So made it turn around, get a few units of damage done to his opponent. Targeting, and of course, the weaker scout that only has 120 HP, and you want to kill that thing because it can go into stealth and try and get rid of that first before the explorer. Much more likely that you would be able to, of course, kill the Wichita scout as opposed to the explorer. But there is certainly that. Neither player's going for that 75 food treasure. It's stuck in the middle of the map there. Certainly someone will come back, but neither player obviously wants to get that, because if they start targeting the Guardians, then well, you have to kill 2 snow leopards, and also your opponent will probably start attacking your scout as well. So both players going to be going and doing their own thing. Comes across a 50 woods treasure. Yeah, Blackstar going to be pretty happy about that. Going to be really useful for when he ages up, no doubt. He'll be doing that any second now, and then we'll be switching all of his villagers over to wood. Because, of course, during transition, he's going to be wanting to lay down the trading post that he did not get in the Discovery Age. And likewise, yeah, here he goes. You can see, got the age up in queue. The Quartermaster, 400 wood, really efficient politician. But yes, collecting the wood now. Just fit that 50 wood treasure. This means he has to collect less wood for this trading site, less wood for his placer mines, and less wood for his steel traps. Really nice indeed. And Goongoon, no doubt, will be doing the same thing. He's got his... Oh, not quite just yet. Oh, I see. He was waiting for that hunt to finish all the food in it. Perhaps he knew that he'd be able to collect all of the wood that he wanted in time before he aged up, but didn't want to leave a dead animal on the floor. Wanted to finish collecting it up so that obviously it didn't decay away. Have more food throughout the course of the game. And of course, the more hunts you have in the base, the better things are going to be. Less likely to be raided, etc., etc. All of that good stuff. But you can see now, collecting up the wood. No doubt we'll add in a market very, very soon with that as well. Yep, there it is. Absolutely. But let's preface these players. Who are they? Let's start with Blackstar. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Possibly one of the strongest players on ESO currently. At least until H2O sort of returned. And H2O, well, he's always been around, but... you know, very strong player. Won the World Cyber Games for Age of Empires 3, the Asian Dynasties in 2008. And was widely regarded as one of the best players of all time, and still is. But, you know, not around. Got a bit rusty, a bit out of shape. Not quite as good as, you know, say someone like Blackstar, who's playing actively and is very good at the game, and is certainly a favourite to go very far in this tournament. But I've said it, he was one of the best players, and he probably still is. And I'd say comparable to H2O, and that's the point I'm making, absolutely. Very, very strong player, but Goongoon as well, a very strong player indeed. Both of these players, PR 40+, and definitely over 2,500 elo. I think Goongoon 2.6k and Black Star on 2.7, or it might be the other way around or something like that. But if you're that high, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference either way. But what are these players up to? We're looking at Goongoon here. He's got up his first shipment is 4 Carrera de Bois, followed by 700 coin. Very interesting indeed, starting with the stable. This is not normal French play. In the French mirror, as we know, very, very tough to, of course. Oh, here comes the Black Star's scout. Very, very vigilant. Black Star always making sure to find out what his opponent's doing, and you can see the stable, and he knows something is up now. He can expect what is going on. He's absolutely going to be certain of, well, not necessarily certain, but more sure of what Goongoon is going to be doing, because normally in the French mirror, it's just you make a stable and a barracks, and then you send 700 wood as your first shipment and use that to lay down houses, get some more upgrades, get a second military building, obviously a second barracks, you have 2 barracks. Just make 5 units of cav, and then just make musketeers for the rest of the game. And of course, having the stable, you get those early cav to do some raiding, really, really nice. But you don't want too many, you only want like 3 or 4, about 5 really, ideally. And because you're going to be making musks pretty much the entire game. But so you can see musketeers right there. And obviously, of course, Goongoon going to be scouting, want to know what Black Star is, of course, up to as well. But yeah, normally amassing musks most of all game long. And if you slow down to get up to the Fortress Age, then your opponent can run in and overwhelm you. But if you can sneak up to the Fortress Age, you can do very, very well indeed. Losing the scout there, of course, Black Star not going to let him scout, putting the villagers in the town to, of course, kill that scout there, so he can't find out actually what he's up to. And of course, the scout can come back and check what military units he has and things like that at a later point in the game. Definitely want to get rid of that. But he's going with the semi-FF. Sent the 4 villagers to power up his economy. An insane shipment, the equivalent of 5 vills, really good. And then 700 coin behind that to get up really, really fast. This is really, really risky. And you can get overrun by that. It's not normal, but if you can sneak up and get away with it, skirmishers and dragoons absolutely annihilate colonial-aged units. There it is, going up with the exiled prince, Goongoon. Oh, okay. See if you can get away with that. But Black Star, what is he up to? Is of course got just the 1 barracks. Actually, he's not doing the same. We're not doing. Oh, okay. He sent 4 vills as well, and then well, he certainly. If it sent 700, I'm not sure in what order he sent those, but I'm fairly certain he would have sent 4 villagers first, followed by 700 wood, because he doesn't have a stable or of course 2 barracks like I was mentioning for, of course, Goongoon. He in fact has just the 1 barracks here. And yeah, he's probably just been waiting here with the musketeers guarding his villagers, waiting for these opponent's hussars to arrive, of which there have not been any at all. And now that he's got 15 musks, he can leave 5 in his base. And he probably suspects that his opponent's going up to the Fortress Age, because he has not seen any hussars at all, and or indeed any military of any kind. And here he's going to come in and going to start sieging down this stable. And if we switch back over to Goongoon, of course, this is like, now that, well, obviously he didn't come in earlier because he wanted to leave some musketeers around his base to defend against the hussar raids that he was most likely expecting from a standard France. But now that he's got 15, can have 5 at home, send these 10 forward, might be able to take out this stable before it goes down. And this is what I mean, like, he's going to punish his opponent for going up to the next stage. If that stable goes down, going to be at a disadvantage because he's not going to be able to train, obviously, cavalry. He's only going to be restricted to skirmishers, and he's going to have to rely on shipments to, obviously, get for the dragoons and stuff. Though the dragoons do come out, doesn't manage to get the stable down. They're now going to retreat. Could, of course, continue to siege that stable down, but doesn't want to do it. He's very, very worried that, well, obviously he knows that dragoons take about 30 seconds to train, and military shipments take 30 seconds, well, any shipment takes 30 seconds to send, and he knows his opponent's got up. So when he sees the dragoons, he would expect when the dragoons arrive, the first shipment will arrive as well, and these things, of course, if he's continuing to siege the stable, are absolutely going to annihilate him. So, doesn't want, playing it very safe. Remember, like, in a tournament game, like, perhaps, yeah, he could have gotten away with that, taking the stable down, but at the same time, doesn't want to risk it. This is an important match, and it's just not worth risking to him. He wants to keep his musketeers alive because he now knows his opponent's up to the next age, and, well, he's going to have lots of military units out, doesn't want to lose them. But, yes, 8 skirmishers, very strong against musketeers. He has snuck up to the next stage, and it is probably going to be this is going to be very effective against, of course, the musketeers. Black Star managing to get away, well, Goongoon managing to get away with it. Black Star going to have to follow him up, and as you can see, yeah, now going up as well with the exiled prince, racing up to the next stage, has 2 shipments available, not training any military units just there, of course, wants to save his resources for the skirmishers and the dragoons at this stable and barracks that he has made. Cuirassier. Oh, okay. This is why he's trained. He's saved his musketeers. He's very concerned about keeping as many musketeers alive as possible because he knows now his opponent got up so quickly that really the only thing that he needs to buy himself some time. His opponent's going to be ahead of him. Let's take a look at the Black Star shipments. Right, 4 vills, 700 wood. That's two fortress, 2 colonial age shipments. And if we switch over to Goongoon. Though, if we take a look, sniping the vills, forcing them away onto the, of course, coin mine there. Let's take a look at the shipments. He's sent, he's a shipment ahead, I think. Yeah, he's got 5 dragoons and 8 skirms. He's, you know, the units are here now, hard and fast. And really, the only thing that's going to buy him some time here is the 2 cannons. Because what does Goongoon do against 2 cannons? He can't use the dragoons to get at those. Well, he can, actually. They're the only things he can use. But if he's doing that, that's why I wanted to keep the musketeers alive. They're anti-cavalry. And they're going to be useful for doing any DPS to things that get nearby. Certainly going to do a lot. Oh, taking out the damage. Taking out some skirmishes. Doing some damage on some skirmishes, indeed. These things being in stagger mode. So that they've, of course, got a bit more spacing, a formation more spacing, so area damage isn't quite as effective. And also, they do take less damage from ranged attacks as well. But Cuirassier is coming out. This is a really interesting unit composition. He's got the 2 cannons. Those things counter the skirmishes pretty well. And then he needs, you know, something to protect his 2 falconets. And the only thing here that threatens his falconets is, of course, the dragoons. And those things are countered, of course, by skirmishers, which he's starting to train. Has got that 8 skirmisher shipment that has just arrived and trained 5 skirmishers as well. And, of course, all of the musketeers that he had in that early portion of the game. Going to use those to do damage against the dragoons, and anything that comes near the falconets can certainly body block these 2 cannons if anything does go into melee combat with them. And this is going to buy him the time he needs to sort of, now that, you know, his opponent managed to get up to the next stage. Didn't manage to punish him for it by killing the stable, but certainly this is the case we are in now. These Cuirassiers, they are going to be super strong against his opponent's skirmishers. This is a very interesting choice. I don't even know if Goongoon knows that they're on the battlefield yet, necessarily. But, yep, sending his 2 cannon shipment of his own to, of course, respond to Black Star's cannons, because it's either... Well, you know, these do have a ×2 multiplier versus cannons, these 2, of course, all of these dragoons. But it's going to be tough to focus down a cannon. You have 75% range resist, and whilst you're focusing the cannon down, and it's efficiently sponging the damage, because 75% of it is negated, you're taking too much damage from other units. So you're going to have to send falconets of your own, and obviously that's it. You can see how careful he's being. Like, these are out in front, not going to get the... Obviously, if the skirmishers get out in front like this, it kind of obstructs the pathing, so you're going to get those back now, knows that. Once he's out in front, so that if he does see the cannons on the periphery of his line of sight, he can just snipe them by right-clicking it. And if there's a skirmisher in the way, yeah, these have to be on the front. He doesn't know where they are. Like, in fact, Black Star's, like, over here somewhere. But he's just going to creep forward with, like, focus, intense concentration on this, just looking around. And these are just, I guarantee he's focusing at the screen here right now. But, yes, going to be coming in. It's going to be an interesting fight. Like, we're coming, oh my goodness, look at all these 12 Cuirassiers. That's about 2 batches of 5 and the shipment of 3. Well, 1 batch of 5, a batch of 4, and a shipment of 3. But that is so many Cuirassiers. I don't even know if he knows that they're there. It's going to be brutal versus all of the skirmishers. Yeah, there's a lot of dragoons, and that's the redeeming factor. But oh, here we go. The fight is about to start. Goongoon being takes out the cannon there. Already, all the Cuirassiers going to come in, going to surround the cannons there. Nothing to body block them. Cuirassiers, like, absolutely going to wreck everything that they're dealing damage to. 30 hand attack, area 2, really, really strong. Even really quite good against dragoons, because if they're doing damage, it's fine. But the problem is here, yeah, they're going to drop really quick. There are so many dragoons in the back, but hopefully he can do enough damage whilst these are tanking with the skirmishers and these high DPS units in the back. The cannon is still alive, just absolutely rinsed his opponent's cannons, and that counts for an absolute load, since of course he managed to protect his own one, has 66 hit points left, and as a direct result of that, yes, loses all his Cuirassiers, but it seemed like an okay trade. Took out his 2 cannons of his opponent, and has kind of evened this up, though having said that, they're expensive Cuirassiers, very, very expensive indeed. But as you can see here, he's got mostly a mass of skirms, right? A mass of skirms is very effective against what Goongoon has, which is essentially, in the majority of his army, is in terms of resources, dragoons. So actually, Black Star in a commanding position here, because dragoons, of course, are very weak to skirmishers. These blue skirms here, not very many of them left at all. So, Black Star, obviously, with the 2 cannons and all of the musketeers, a very nice outcome. That was a pretty interesting engagement. Don't often see the French going up to the fortress age so much, especially, well, I say that, if you look at H2O's game, yeah, that kind of shows why. Obviously, played against Myth, I believe. Yeah, Myth 21, something like that, and you can see why going up to fortress is unlikely. Anyway, let's take a look at Goongoon and see what he's up to. He's gonna have to, you know, it's not out of this yet. The score's very even. Ultimately, of course, they have about the same amount of units in terms of military production. I would say, I can't be certain of that, but you can, it's a fairly good estimate considering the scores are so close. So, yeah, Blackstar's not, sorry, Goongoon's not out because, you know, he can run away. These are very mobile units. He doesn't have to take that fight. Of course, he doesn't have to fight skirmishes. He can run away. Dragoon's very fast at doing that. Can go back and train some more relevant units to fight the skirmishes, such as cuirassiers. So, definitely both players still in this, 100% to play for, but at that particular fight, Blackstar did come out on top and would have been able to continue to push, but yeah. Obviously, it's difficult to push with a cannon. They're very immobile, and you know, you have to be certain you want to go where you're going to go, because moving a cannon around is a real pain in the bottom. But there is that. Here we see, I think we're going to see another engagement coming up soon. 2 cuirassiers coming in to do some raiding. This is going to be brutal. They're both full HP. Going to do a lot of damage, of course, bringing all the cuirassiers in here, sorry, all the carreras in there to try and do some damage. But there is a fight going to be going on. In the meantime, here we have, oh, a lot of dragoons. They're going to very easily take out that falconet here. So the cuirassiers coming in, getting a really nice surround on those skirmishes. Look at the area damage there. Only a couple of dragoons in the back there to do damage, and most of them are going to go down very quickly. Lots of skirmishes. Managed to field, obviously, a lot of skirmishes. Did send that, of course, 7 set skirm, 8 skirm shipment. Or the 7 skirm shipment more recently. Does win the fight fairly convincingly, but Goongoon on 22 villagers. The raiding's still going on. He's still defending against that. Went from, oh my goodness, that is so big. That's at that, oh my good, okay, so 20 villagers for Goongoon. Blackstar on 34. He literally killed 14 villagers in that raid, or the equivalent of that, almost, essentially. Because, well, that's certainly how many he is behind now. And yeah, but like, Goongoon came out very far ahead in terms of that fight, but it doesn't matter. Like, he's just lost all of these villagers. What's he gonna do? Okay, so here, he's got the military lead, as you can see. Looks like he's looking pretty good. Blackstar clearly feeling pressured. Has to send his Minutemen to repel this. And he's doing a reasonable job of repelling this. 5 dragoons popping out. But, okay, Goongoon needs to make something happen. He's so far behind in terms of villagers. That raid from Blackstar, so strategically placed. He, like, just as the fight was about to happen, put the 2 cuirassiers over there just before the fighting started. Perhaps your opponent is too busy focusing on the micro to realize he's being raided, sort of that tunnel vision effect, and Blackstar, a very good player at doing that. This engagement's still going on. You can see here, Blue's still in a commanding lead, has a lot of units there, because most of Red's units here are just Minutemen, going to go down very quickly. Not that very many skirmishes to deal with this large dragoon mass. Not looking too good. Blackstar sending 1,000 coin. He knows he has to, he's killed a lot of villagers. He knows he just has to send shipments, turn it into military, and then he can just, you know, use his superior economy, because he knows he killed so many villagers to just win this game. He just needs to not die, and 1,000 coin. He's going to be able to collect that up. I thought for a moment if Black Goongoon just sits on his opponent's town center here, stops that coin from going up. He denies him that military shipment here, but actually doesn't perhaps realize the coin is there and chooses to chase down his opponent's dragoons, which is perfectly a good thing to do when you've got more dragoons, because of course you're going to win that fight, and the more units you have, the more exponentially hard you'll win it. But fortunately has the villagers on the hunt nearby, going to get them involved. 243 hit points, of course, from the Greatcoat's upgrade and a 40% ranged resist. Going to even out this fight very nicely indeed. Goongoon not going to be able to continue to push this, and I think even though Blackstar lost that fight quite hard, you saw how many extra units Goongoon had, he's actually managed to stabilize, and he's looking okay. And he has a 31 villager economy, not quite as big as it was. Goongoon did kill a few, but 31 villagers to Blackstar. Goongoon on 22, just 22, and he, as I said, he needed to make something happen, and now the longer this game goes on, the more it shifts to Blackstar's favor. That raid, absolutely monstrous, but can he, yes, he might be able to even up some villagers here. Can he get the goons in the way? Goongoon, can he get his goons in the way? That's hilarious, actually. Come on, Goongoon, can you take out these villagers? You need to even up the settler gap. Yeah, getting the skirmishes in the way here, doing a good job, but you can just see, like, how many hit points these things have, and they soak so much. 40% range resist, and now it's too late, because Red has just got all his dragoons over here, popped a fresh batch, and his skirmishers have arrived, gonna force Blue out of here. And you can see, like, Red's army is getting bigger relative to Blue's, and that is a direct result of him having more villagers, absolutely. But, yes, there is certainly that. Goongoon being forced to send this refrigeration card, has run out of Fortress Age Fortress Age shipments, and is now sending refrigeration. Not particularly relevant there, because he only has 8 villagers gathering food, and, well, 20% of 8 is not a very big figure. The upgrades are really good to send when you have a lot of villagers. Oh, a responding raid from Goongoon sends down the 2 cuirassiers here, but actually some dragoons very close by from Blackstar, which he sent down. Now going to retreat these away, of course. Can he get these? So the area damage might be able to kill 2 more. It kills 1. But still, you can see Goongoon trying to even up this settler gap. He's not out yet. The scores are very even, but I don't think it's going to stay that way for long unless he can make something happen. Just 24 villages, and is behind, like, had to send refrigeration, whereas, of course, Blackstar had 1,000 coin in his deck to continue fielding military units. It's not too good. Refrigeration is, yeah, if you have 40 villages, it's pretty good, but if you only have 8 gathering food, perhaps not so much. Yep, here we can see him coming in again for perhaps some raids, but doesn't have the same military as Blackstar there. A direct result of more villages at the 1,000 coin shipment he sent. Oh, 3 Hussars, though, from Blackstar. Very nice indeed. Has identified he's running out of shipments. Could send these upgrades, but decides actually just more military units would be better, and identifies that perhaps actually the colonial age military shipment might be better than, say, a fortress age one, like refrigeration, for example. 3 Hussars doing work, taking out these villagers, aggressively going to trade off these 3 Hussars for the villager kills, the Dragoons coming in, but it's a bit too late. Look at all the vills that have gone down in that time before he only lost 3 camp for that, and it was just a shipment that he sent. But 5 cuirassiers now going to come out. There they are. Very, very strong unit indeed. And they're going to head straight over here to kill even more. Like, he knows they're there. But, oh my goodness, like, oh, get back, Goongoon. Go send your goons back. This is not too good. I'm really, oh my god, we're going to have to switch over. 19 villages he has. During this time, there is going to be a fight going on. I think that perhaps Goongoon is focusing on this. But even if he isn't, oh my, that's absolutely brutal. 12 villagers now. Blackstar knows what he needs to do to make this game go on. Oh, that is so tough. Oh, there's a hunt here. Goongoon, why weren't you gathering that one? Oh, maybe, of course, there was probably, I don't know why he was over there. Oh, God. But, yes. Lots of villagers over here, though. And Goongoon's army, sorry, Blackstar's army is over here. He's going to be able to perhaps get a few villager kills in the meantime. But, yeah, you can see splitting these off in this direction, splitting these off in this direction. Just going to make sure that he can only pursue one batch and that, you know, you can't trap all of them in, but not putting all his eggs in one basket in the terms of the direction that he's going to be retreating in, and perhaps in case there are some hidden enemy military units. But, no, you know, field at 40% range resist is absolutely insane. Not going to be able to tank that. Not going to be able to kill too many. And now, of course, the responding response here. Going to take out as many Dragoons as he can. Getting these cuirassiers into hand combat. Bringing the settlers involved as well. Of course, he knows that his economy is very, very superior. If he just wins this fight here, annihilates all the remaining enemy military units, then just like once they're dead, just he can't lose. Simple as that. So, well, besides, even then, just Carreras are still really good. 40% range resist. Extra 8 damage in the fight. Gonna force him back. But, yeah, did actually take out all his cuirassiers, I believe. That's pretty good, actually. Like, you can see, like, the score isn't that bad. He's not got very many villages. He's gonna have to kill some enemy villages. And there are 4 behind here. It's certainly looking okay. This fight is going okay. He's got more skirmishes than Red, and, of course, his skirmishes will counter the Dragoons here. Not but, oh no, when these arrive, that's gonna be tough. He's only got 4 Dragoons at the moment that they're harassing here. Very far away and out of position. Isn't going to be able to field particularly many military units, and cuirassiers incoming in this fight. I think we're going to see the resign any second now. He's just going to see those cuirassiers and go, I have a 13 villager economy and my army's toast. No thank you. And that does conclude the first game. I just want to point out, though, the next 2 games will be casted by myself and H2O. They were streamed live. This particular one was not. Blackstar was on a tight schedule, so we were casting a different series whilst they were playing this, so I thought I'd recast this from the recorded game and upload it to YouTube before we did game 2 and 3, because that would make sense, right? Anyway, there is certainly that. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and enjoy the other 2, well, the rest of the series.